Hey everybody, we're teaching SculptrVR. And this time on SculptrVR, we're going to be looking at the particle brush. So our second set of tools, tool number 3, they refer to this as scatter. And it's basically to make particles. Now you'll notice with my controller, it's got these 4 dots on it now. And those 4 dots will be in whatever color and material you choose. When I hold my trigger down, it's not just going to draw 4 dots. As long as I hold my trigger down, it's drawing lots of little dots. As long as you hold the trigger down, it keeps adding more dots. So if I draw in a line, it's adding all of these dots in a line. There is some randomization happening here, but only in this direction. Let's get my dots into view here, but only as far as direction and heading of the dots themselves. So you'll notice they're still little round cubes. This is part of our cube square tools. So they're all little tiny cubes. They're going to be at different directions and different orientations. And if I hold my trigger down, the longer you hold it, the more dots. And you can see they're all at different angles, different rotations. They're all still rough cubes, but they're all going to be in different directions, different headings. Now, it is smart enough that it tries to put the dots in different places. So if I just hold it down, the dots don't overlap very often, but it does try to create more dots in more open spaces. And you can move your hand around. Changing the size of your brush, moving things up and down, it changes both the size of the individual cubes, but it also changes the size of the spread of the cloud. So I'm going to make it very small dots in a very small area, as opposed to very large. Now it's big dots in a big area. So the scatter tool is for making these particles in any color and any style, and they're all being built up on the layer. So if I go in with different colors and different tools in different materials, you can see how it just scatters them amongst each other. There are a lot of good uses for this. So one of my earlier ones, I had done a tree. So we'll just use sphere to make a big blob for the leaves of our tree. Now, if this was a fruit tree, I can go in with scatter, so I can quickly put in some apples or fruits or flowers without having to do each single one independently. Or maybe I wanted to make a nice rolling field, new procedural rolling field. And now I can scatter some flowers on this field. Now we'll scatter some blue flowers on this field. And the scatter gives you many dots randomly very quickly, so you don't have to place them all by hand. If you bring in layers, now we can move them and control them independently as well. Not only can we create with this thing, but just like all of our other tools, we can carve with the speckles as well. So I'm going to set it to carve and move around a little bit. It's not making tubes. It's not carving holes. It's just making these individual holes. So if I was going to turn this yellow, let's grab a yellow paintbrush. Yellow, make it nice and big, yellow this whole thing out. And now I'm going to go for my scatter, carve, draw in some of these scattered holes. And remember, they're doing it under the surface as well as above the surface, so that I can make Swiss cheese. And now if I grab one of my carving tools and I carve away, you can see how those scattered holes go all the way through my material. So I've got my Swiss cheese effect here that I can actually carve into and see all those speckled carving holes done throughout it. So our scatter tool, it's used to both create random specks and to carve away in random specks. Third tool on your squares is for making particles. Scatter tool. Any size, any color material. Another fun thing to do. Set it to glow in the dark on a pale color. And you can paint stars in the sky that will glow slightly. Or underwater. If this was a dark scenario, the little points of glowing light can really give you more effects to play with. So this is the scatter tool for SculptrVR. I hope this was a helpful lesson that inspires you guys to try out some new things on your own. I'm going to put up our standard subscription message. Because we do this all the time, do subscribe so you can be informed every week when we do a new lesson. They're also archived on youtube.com as well as done live over on Twitch TV/Shameless Mayhem. Have fun with your SculptrVR. I'd love to see some sculptures you've done, so let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time, everyone.